Hey guys, it's Tahira, and today I'm gonna be reading the most hyped fantasy romance books for 2024. I also did this video last year. I read 2023's most hyped books in general, not just fantasy romance, but I feel like so many hyped, like specifically fantasy romance books came out last year, and I wanted to read them because obviously there's always going to be books that I miss out on that are super hyped, that are making the rounds on the book community, and I just don't get to during that year. So I feel like this is a good way for me to like catch up on those. But I'm really excited for the books that I have planned for this specific video. But the first book is one that I'm actually already like 50% into. I'm already on page 200, but that is A Fate in Blood by Daniel L. Jensen. This one is a Nordic, like Norse mythology inspired fantasy romance. It follows this girl named Freya, and she has the drop of power from this goddess that she tries to hide, and then she's married to this like man that she doesn't want to be married to, and she kind of just wants to get out of this life that she's in right now, and then events lead her to getting out of it, and then her powers also get discovered. Her story kind of starts from there. The second book that I'm going to be reading is When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker. I've heard so much about this. I'm so excited about this one. This one has been on so many people's favorites list, and I think I want to say it came out in 2024. I know this edition came out in 2024 for sure, but I don't know because this one was also on KU, so I don't know when the indie one came out, but I'm gonna say 2024. But yeah, I've just heard so many good things about this one, and I'm really excited for it. And the last one is another one that has took like booktube, everything by storm, and that is Quicksilver by Callie Hart. This book has been absolutely everywhere. I have been seeing it also on so many people's favorites list. A lot of people really love this, and I think it came out last year. This one is also getting traditionally published this year, and I want to get to it before then because it's still on KU as of this time, I think. So yeah, these are the books that are on the docket for this video. Super excited for all of them. And I've just heard they're so hyped, and I can't believe I didn't get to them last year, but I'm excited to get to them in this video nonetheless. So back to my current read, A Fate Inked in Blood. This one was the one I was least interested in reading because I think the other book is just a lot more hyped than this one. I had heard a lot about this when this came out, but the other books I feel like I didn't stop hearing about, like I kept hearing about throughout the year. And even I still hear about them now, but this one I feel like was super hyped when it came out, and it sort of died down and I didn't know about it as much. But I would still consider it a hyped book for 2024, so I'm still reading it for that reason. As far as my feelings so far, I just don't really know how to feel, even though I'm already halfway through. It has good writing and I'm enjoying the story enough, but it's still not really capturing my attention in that way where I'm like super caring about the characters or the plot. I'm just kind of going with the flow as of right now, and I just don't really feel super tied to the story and feel super hyped about like picking it up, or feel the urge to like be like I need to know what's gonna happen, or like super invested in the story, I guess. Just a little bit disappointing, but yeah, I don't know, like the writing is fine. Nothing about it is inherently bad. It's just, I don't know, it's just not something that like I guess I have clicked with, at least yet. I don't know, like the best way to say it is I don't feel super invested in the story, and if anything happens, I'm not too bothered by anything bad that happens, or like feel super ecstatic if something good happens. I don't know, it's just like a middle of the road book. I feel like this is a kind of book that would get 3 to 3.5 stars. Like it's good enough, but it's not really life-changing in any way. Like I've heard When the Moon Hatched and Quicksilver, like I feel like I've heard so much about those, and how like I don't know, I feel like I've heard so much about those more than this one. Anyway, I'll keep you updated. That's also the reason why it took me so long to kind of get this started and to update you on this book, because I wasn't really feeling that much about this book, and I wanted to wait a little bit until maybe felt a little bit more. But as of right now, I'm just not feeling a ton towards this book. Anyway, this was my very long way of saying that I have started this reading vlog and my proposed TBR for this one. But I will definitely keep you updated as I'm reading A Fate Inked in Blood, if I'm feeling anything more, and just I'll keep you updated. I swear to God though, if like Quicksilver or When the Moon Hatched are not as like good as people are saying, I'm gonna be so mad, because I've had such like a hit or miss with hyped books. I talked about this in my last video too. Like I feel like so many hyped books I just don't end up liking, or I guess the hype just built it up so much in my head that I just don't, like, I build it up so much that it ends up letting me down. I'm really hoping that I like these books because I've just heard so much about them, and I really want to be part of the hype, especially as the sequels to all these books start coming out this year. I think the sequel to this one comes out like in the next couple months, and I know that both Brimstone and Ballad of Falling Dragons, I believe is the title, are both sequels, and they're coming out this year. So I feel like it'd be so fun to be like as part of the hype of these sequels as they come out. So yeah, just a long way of me saying I really hope I like these books, and I have really high hopes for like all of these. This one obviously not as much, but the other two I have really high standards and hopes for them, and I hope that they can reach them. This is me checking in for A Fate Inked in Blood by Daniel L. Jensen. I thought that I would update like at the very end when I finished, but I am on page 331 right now, so I have just under 100 pages left for this book, and I just don't really know how to feel about this book. I think in my intro clip I said that I just wasn't feeling a ton about this book, like it was just okay but nothing like mind-blowing, and that's kind of how I'm feeling right now. And I almost like am not really in the mood for this book, and I don't know if I feel like it's not the book, but I just don't know what it is. Like, I don't know if it's like a reading slump, or I'm just not in the mood to read these days, or if it's like this book in general. But there's nothing in me that's really like urging me to pick it up to read it. It's not like I'm forcing myself to read it, but it's just like nothing that like is making me want to actively pick up the book and read on, even though like I feel like there's stuff happening. I feel like I'm reading it and not really like immersing myself in what's happening. I'm just kind of reading it as if it's like just words on a page. I don't know, it's like weird, and I don't know if it's just like me or if it's the book. So yeah, like nothing really terrible to say. Like the writing is fine, I like the writing, the plot is fine. I don't know what it is about this book that's just not really clicking with me, but I'm just not really invested in the plot. I think I said that before too, like the plot and the characters, I'm not really invested. The main couple in this book, I'm not really invested in their relationship that much either. Like, I don't know, it was a little bit insta-lovey, insta-lusty in the beginning of the book, so maybe that's why I like there to be a little bit of tension. And I didn't really feel like that they had a lot of it, because the first time that the main characters, like the love interests, saw each other, they basically were attracted to each other. And I feel like that happens a lot in like fantasy romance books. But yeah, I don't know, just wanted to come in with these conflicting thoughts because I just don't really know what to like feel about this book. It's just frustrating because I feel like it's not even anything specific that the book is doing. Like, I feel like it's just, I don't know, I feel like it's more me rather like than the book, and I don't know how to fix it. I don't know if it's like reading slump coming on. That would be so sad. But I am on page 330, so I'm just under 100 pages, so I will push through and finish this book. I almost did think about DNFing this book, like not really because I hated it or anything, it was terrible, but just because I wasn't really feeling it. But I did push through, and I feel like I'm almost to the end of this book, and I'm close enough that I'm fine with like reading the end and seeing what happens. I don't think I would read the sequel. I know that's coming out like pretty soon, I think, and I don't know if I would like read the sequel. I have no really interest at this point. I don't know what's gonna happen in the end. Like, it would have to be something super crazy and like insane for me to like want to pick up the second book, so I don't think I'll do that. But for now, I'm just having like really conflicting thoughts and feelings about this book, and I just hope that it gets a little bit better towards the very end of the book to like at least have somewhat of a good experience reading this book. But yeah, it's just overall, it's a very middle of the road reading experience. Like, I'm not really feeling much for this book about the plot, the characters, and I just wish and wanted to be just a little bit more invested. But again, that could totally be like me and my mindset with reading right now rather than the book itself. Hi besties, I have finished A A Fate Inked in Blood by Daniel L. Jensen, and I ended up giving this like 2.75 stars. I was gonna give it a 3 at first because I thought like it was just okay, it wasn't great, but then like reflecting on it, like I really didn't find anything all that exciting or noteworthy in my reading experience for this book. Like I just didn't really have a lot of positive feelings about this reading experience, which is like really sad because this is such a hyped book, and I know that a lot of people are excited for the sequel that either I think is about to come out or is gonna come out this year, I believe. Also, the covers for both this and the sequel are both stunning. I love the cover art and style. And I really wanted to like this book, but it just had a few things that I guess I just didn't click with. First of all, the writing I thought was pretty decent. I have never read Daniel L. Jensen's books. I know she also has the Bridge Kingdom series, which is a series that I've heard a lot about, and it is on my radar for a book series that I might want to get to someday. So yeah, not really any problems with the writing. The plot though was I think where I had my biggest issue, because I feel like it started off really strong. I was really interested in what was going on and the sort of direction that the story was taking, but I feel like after a bit it kind of got a little bit boring and things were being dragged out a little bit, even though this book is only around 415 pages, which I feel like is on the shorter end for a fantasy romance book. So even though the book itself is not that long, I just felt like some parts were being dragged out and I just wasn't interested in some parts of the plot, and I kind of felt like I was just reading to read the book and not really, like, as I've said before, invested in the plot or the characters. The other thing is the characters themselves. Like I feel like I wasn't super like into them. Even the main character, like I liked her at some moments, but other times I just didn't really care for her or the love interest. I found myself not really connecting and caring about the romance in this book at all, and even like there's scenes where it got a little bit spicy. Like I didn't really care for any of it. I don't know, I was just very I feel like removed from this story in a way where I was just kind of reading it and not really like thinking about it or immersing myself in what was really going on. Like when you know when you read but you're not actually understanding, like I feel like that was a little bit me, but I don't know if it was again like me or if it was the book. But it's just hard because my reading experience was not super positive reading this book. So even though I'm giving this 2.75 stars, I feel like that feels right to me. This is definitely not a terrible book. I feel like if I'd read it at a different time, maybe I would have liked it a little bit more, but just my reading experience right now just tainted a little bit. Would I still recommend it? I mean, I don't know. I know this is super popular. This does have the lowest average rating out of all the books I'm reading in this video. This one has a 3.93 out of 5 stars on Goodreads the last time I had checked, which is decent enough, but it's not amazing. Like I've seen a lot of books that have higher than that. Both of the other books though have like in the 4.3 4.4s out of 5 stars, so I'm really excited about those. But yeah, I guess it's a good thing that I got this from the library, because I just didn't click with this one as much as I wanted to, which is really sad. Oh, and I'm probably not going to be continuing on with the series. Oh yeah, one other thing, the plot twist in this book I feel like was really predictable. I feel like I saw it coming. Like there was a moment in the end where you kind of catch on to what's going on, and not like at the very end, but a little bit before that where you kind of catch on to what's going on, and I feel like it's really easy to predict what's going to happen, especially because I feel like it follows a pretty predictable format for a fantasy romance, and I just felt like there could have been a little bit more with the ending and a little bit more innovation maybe with the twist. But yeah, it didn't shock me too much. I kind of saw it coming. But yeah, I'm not really super interested in reading the sequel. Sure, it left off on like I guess somewhat of an interesting note, but not enough to keep me invested and engaged with the story to continue on. Now that that's over and I can return it to the library, I have started Quicksilver by Callie Hart. Granted, I'm only like 6 pages in, so really I don't have any thoughts right now. I have super high hopes for this one. I've heard so much about it. Everyone's been talking about it. It's literally been the it book for 2024, I feel like, and I hope I really like it. But yeah, again, 6 pages in, don't really have that much to say. I will definitely update when I have more. This one is a pretty big book. I think it's about 600 pages on Kindle. I'm reading on KU. So we'll see how long it takes me. Hopefully it's like a fast-paced, quicker read, because that is a long book. Both this and When the Moon Hatched are like both in the 600 to 700 page range, so both are chunky books. So we'll see how long it takes to get through them. But yeah, hopefully I really enjoy it, and I will catch you guys next when I have read a little bit more of Quicksilver. Hey, it's definitely many days later. I just got really busy and I haven't been reading as much. But for you, it's only been 1 second, so it doesn't matter. But I am currently 100 pages into Quicksilver. And I've been reading that, like I said, like pretty slowly because I got busy. I started that right after I finished Fate Inked in Blood. And honestly, like, I just wanted to update. Like, usually I don't update this early in the book because I don't have that many thoughts, but I already have like a lot of really positive feelings towards this book. And it's only like, I'm literally only on page 105, and I feel like that's just so great. And I just feel, hopefully, like, I feel that this could continue on if things go the way that I want them to go. One of the things I really love about this book that I'm really enjoying is how fast-paced it is. We jumped pretty much right into the action right from almost page 1, and it was honestly like non-stop action and really fast-paced plot from there, and I was really enjoying it. I feel like a lot of books take a lot of time to set up the world a little bit, especially with fantasy books, because obviously you have like a new magic system, you sometimes have a new world that you've never heard of, like new mechanics, new everything, laws, cultural things, rules. So I do understand that people need to take the time to like set that up, but I also think that I have really missed books that have jumped right into the action from the get-go, and that is what this book is giving me, and I've been so happy with my reading experience so far. So this is going to be a pretty quick update because I don't have that much to say because it's only, again, 100 pages in, but yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I really hope that it can continue on the way that it's going. We have just gotten to the part where like Kingfisher, our main love interest, has come into the picture, and we don't really know much about him. We kind of just got into that world. Really high hopes for this one, especially after what I've already read. I really hope that we can keep continuing on with the fast-paced nature that we've already had. I feel like we've already done so much, and it's only been 100 pages, so I just hope that this like energy can continue on for the rest of the book, because this is a 600 page book, so I feel like it does have the potential to like drag at points in the middle, so I really hope it doesn't fall victim to that. But yeah, just really quick update. Loving Quicksilver so far. This might be a book that's like really worth the hype and lives up to the hype that I've been hearing about for so long, so I'm really happy about that and really excited to keep reading. And I just have my fingers crossed, like everything crossed, that the stars align and that this can be one of my new favorite books, because right now it definitely feels like it could definitely be a top contender for a book that I've read this year. Anyway, I don't want to get too ahead of myself. I'm just gonna keep reading, but yeah, I'm really excited about this one. For you, it's been 1 second since the last clip, but for me, it's been like over 2 weeks, I think, just about 2 weeks, because Quicksilver is actually taking me so much longer to read than I thought it would. Honestly, a lot of it was that I've been super busy the past couple weeks. I had to travel back home because I had a bunch of family visiting from another country, so I was just spending time with them, so I was not really in the mood to read a ton. But even when I have been reading, I haven't been reading like as much. Like, I was only reading like 30 to 50 pages at a time, which is usually I can read like a lot more, and I want to read a lot more than that. But I don't know, like this book started off so strong and I'm still enjoying it. Like, it's not like I'm not enjoying it. I don't know, I think it's also because it slowed down a ton after the first like 100 pages. I was talking about in my last clip that the first 100 pages was like so action-packed, there was so much happening, and I was really enjoying all of it, and I loved the fast-paced nature of the book. But after she sort of goes away from her starting city and into the Fae world, the plot slows down a lot because she's kind of adjusting to the new environment. She's learning more about the world. That's where a lot of the world building and a lot of the lore and history of everything is kind of shown to the main character, and also like as a result to us too. So there's a lot of that in that part, which totally makes sense. But definitely like the action and the fast-paced nature kind of slow down a lot. Right now I'm on page 500 and there's 600 pages in the book, so I'm just about 80% of the way through. So I'm hoping to finish the last 100 pages today and just get this book over with, because I feel like I've been reading it for so long, and that's why this video has been super late. There was a point in the middle where it started kind of dragging a little bit and there felt like it was not much was happening with everything, but of course, like we're in the last like 20% of the book, so things are starting to pick up again. We're starting to learn a lot more about certain things, and the relationship of course is also growing. So yeah, I hope all of this can keep continuing on and that we can have some sort of an explosive ending that's gonna make me want to pick up the sequel, Brimstone, that's coming out later this year, I believe. I definitely do feel like parts of this book could have been cut down a little bit, considering this is a 600-page book, which is not unheard of. It is, I would say, on the longer side for fantasy books. And I definitely think some parts could be edited. Again, it's not like I'm hating the story and that it's like so slow that it's unreadable. Like, I'm still enjoying the plot and the characters. Another thing was that Kingfisher sometimes was just a little bit cringy, especially in the beginning. Like, something about characters that are like known to be super like dangerous or cruel, and them knowing that about them and like saying that out loud, that they're so cruel and they know it. They're basically like the bad boy, but they also know that they're the bad boy, and something about me just makes me cringe. So that was happening a little bit with Kingfisher, and that definitely did change, like it toned down a little bit as we got into the story, so that's good. But just the beginning parts of Kingfisher's introduction gave me the ick a little bit, but it is better now and I am enjoying their dynamic and their relationship. So yeah, not much to say. I will update you next, probably when I finish the book, because I only have like about 100 pages left. So I really hope that we can finish out strong. I am feeling good about the ending. I do have potential ideas of where it could go, but again, I'm not sure if this is the type of book where it's gonna end on like a big cliffhanger or a big like plot twist or reveal at the end. But I am hoping that something crazy happens so that it'll keep me like hyped and excited for the second book that's coming out later this year. But I can definitely see why so many people love it. It is a pretty decent fantasy romance, and even the fantasy aspects I am enjoying. But yeah, I just really hope that we can finish out strong with this book. I finished Quicksilver a couple of days ago, and I ended up giving this book 3.75 stars. So I did enjoy it. I definitely think it is a very decent and solid fantasy romance book, but I think my issues with it just came down to the fact that I feel like the plot like slowed down a lot after the first like initial push of events that happened, and I just feel like some parts of it could have been cut down, like I said, and there were just some parts where I felt like it was dragging a bit and it could have been like going a little bit faster than it was. But in the end, when we got a ton of more information about like the world and the magic system and everything, like I feel like it was actually a lot more expansive than I thought it would be, and I thought it was really cool, honestly, and I would love to see more of like how that expands and learning more about that as we go into the next book. Definitely not like an edge of your seat cliffhanger for the end, like definitely a very interesting end, and I am gonna read the sequel because I am interested to see like where the story goes, especially with some of the information we come to learn in the very like last few pages of the book. But it's not like, oh my god, something super crazy happened and like I need to know what happens next. But still, in the end, that like makes me want to keep reading in this series. I don't know if it's a series or just a duology, but I am still interested to see where the story ends up going in the sequel. Another thing is that I wish the relationship sort of, I don't know, I feel like the way it progressed was sometimes weird. It is very insta lovey, or not insta lovey, like more insta lusty, because like there's some things that we come to find out in the end that make sense for like why things the way they are. But I feel like the two main characters, like even though they don't like each other or like they're not particularly fond of each other, there's still that attraction which is there, which is usually happens a lot in enemies to lover romances, even in fantasy, that even though they don't like each other, that like sexual lusty attraction is still there. So that was definitely the case. And then there were just some points where the relationship was progressing really quickly, and there wasn't a lot of reasoning to why. Like for example, we kind of go from them loathing each other, especially Kingfisher with Ceres, and then suddenly they're like kind of fine with each other. I don't know. I wish there was like better transitions between the stages in their relationship, especially because we see that Kingfisher like is very mean, I guess, and cruel and in the beginning. So like sometimes I feel like the stages and the transitions between the relationship stages was a little bit choppy. But overall, I really enjoyed the plot. I think the magic system was really interesting. It's something that I've never really seen before in fantasy books, and I honestly like want to learn more about it, and I hope that we get more information in the second book. I thought the writing was pretty decent, and the plot was, as I said, it dragged a little bit, but when it was like when things were happening, it was really good. I was on the edge of my seat, like with the very beginning and the very end. I feel like those are the strongest parts, where we have like a ton happening and super fast-paced plot. It's just the middle chunk of the book where it kind of got pretty slow, and it didn't really feel like the plot and the storyline were progressing as much. So yeah, for me 3.75 makes sense, but I am really excited for the sequel. I think it comes out, I want to say later this year, maybe in the fall. Not too sure about that. Definitely honestly a book that I kind of want to own, especially because it is getting traditionally published, so I don't know if it's gonna stay on KU for much longer, because I did read it on there. But yeah, two, I guess, mid experiences so far for this reading vlog. Also, I am gonna end the vlog here. I know I said in the beginning that I was gonna also read When the Moon Hatched, but Quicksilver honestly just took so much longer than I thought it would, because of just like things in my life where I got super busy, and I want to get this vlog up like sooner rather than later. Like it's already been a month since I uploaded, and I don't want to extend it too much longer, so I will be ending this after reading 2 books, which usually I like to read 3 books for a vlog because I feel like there's more substance to it. But this time I feel like since they're both like not super short books, I'm okay with ending this one on 2, and then I will hopefully be reading When the Moon Hatched sometime soon. It's still really high on my TBR and my priority list, so that will be, I don't know if that would ever be in a different video, but it's not unfortunately gonna be in this one. So yeah, overall like 2, I guess, decent mid experiences with the books that I have read. I definitely like Quicksilver more than A Fate Inked in Blood. I don't even remember what I gave A Fate Inked in Blood as a rating, but yeah, both of those are like kind of in the 3. Quicksilver is more on the higher end. I think Fate Inked in Blood was a little bit on the lower end. Okay, I gave A Fate Inked in Blood 2.75 stars, so definitely not a great experience, I guess. And I like thinking back on it, it's not something that I'm like super fond of as a reading experience. It was just pretty mid. It was kind of boring, but Quicksilver I did really enjoy, and I'm excited to see where this story goes. But that is it for this video. I am glad that I'm finally caught up on some of the most hyped books of last year, and of course I still want to get to When the Moon Hatched. Hopefully that is soon. But let me know down below if you've read any of these books, as of course I would love to know. But that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Bye.